Look at the issues. We're talking about abortion. We're talking about guns. All of those things, when you look at the polls, most people say they want action on guns, they want action on abortion, but the Democrats can't seem to get that message across. What's up?
You know, we're a coalition. We're not really understanding. We are Democratic part of a coalition. And I don't know. And sometimes, you know, I've done a lot of Democratic message meetings, and they say, well, there's multi-layered different problems on different levels. You know, no, there's not. You gotta pick a spot and you gotta run to it. And they refuse to do that. And so they all run. We talk to these consultants, well, we gotta get our positive track laid down. And hell, with your positive track, you get the shit beat out of you. Get over there and go doing some punches, you know. It's against their nature. It's a good question. I've wrestled with this question all my political life. And it doesn't get any better.
Well, Governor, is it messaging or is it policy that they're not able to get across?
Well, look, I mean, where you stand on that one depends on where you sit, right? I mean, I think, you know, from my perspective, I think a lot of the policies are wrong-headed, and they've led to some of these problems. And so, you gotta own it. Look, I'm glad James isn't running their campaign, because I think that's pretty good. So I'm glad that they got some dumb people running their campaign. I mean, just remember, you know, in politics, you can benefit by your own brilliance or by the stupidity of your opponent. And right now, I think Republicans are benefiting by some policies that weren't very good. You know, look, I think what happened to Biden was he got caught up in a policy situation where he had to promise certain things to get the nomination in terms of spending, et cetera, for at least he thought he did for the left wing of his party. And then he got there, and circumstances have obviously changed. The economy was pretty strong, and came out of COVID pretty strongly. And even a guy like Larry Summers said, don't spend any more money. If we start spending trillions of dollars more, we're going to cause inflation here. And then they did. So you got to own that piece of it. And you can only message that so much. I mean, you know, I went into the supermarket a couple weeks ago, and I was picking up stuff that was on the list that Mary Pat gave me. And one of the things on the list was Tostitos scoops. So I go and get the Tostitos scoops, and I look at it, and it was $6.59 for a bag of Tostitos scoops, and I put them down. I'm like, shit, I don't need that for sure. And especially if I have to pay $6.59 for it, right? So that's the problem with messaging, is that you're messaging on something in opposite of the way people feel. So they go in and they see these things, they feel a certain way. So the Republicans have an easier task this time, because they're just saying, you're pissed, you're right. Yeah, prices are too high. You know, that makes our job in the midterm easier from a policy perspective, and it's always easy to criticize the guy who's in the White House. You know, you get the credit for things that you don't necessarily deserve credit for, and you also get the blame for things you don't necessarily deserve blame for. That's the way our system works. So I think the combination of the two is what's causing the problem. I think it could be ameliorated by what James is talking about. And that's why I like the way he devises strategy for campaigns. He, like he said, picks a target and runs at it. And I think if you try to, you know, determine your strategy by which way the wind is blowing on any particular day, it becomes a lot more difficult to win, rather than just saying, that's what I believe in, that's what I stand for, that's what I think people need to hear. I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it persuasively. You do that, I think it's a generally much more successful way to run an American political campaign.
But inflation